Hello everyone, welcome back to Monster Hunter World. I can speak a bit louder today because no one's about 10 feet away from me through a very, thin wall, so I don't have to worry about waking someone up. So, today we're going to be taking on Velkhana. Rather, we're going to be repelling it, which if you know Monster Hunter World at all, means this is pretty much just a precursor slash preview of the actual fight. What did I think of it? Wasn't that bad. Then again, I don't think that they put all of the really shitty stuff in till later, I'm guessing, because it wasn't that bad. So you can see how I'm preparing for this. Gotta get the ice proof on because it uses ice. And I think I actually made sure to get my... There we go. I don't think well, no, I take that back. I think I did come up with a specific decoration build for this. I don't remember what it was. And you'll see I get warm drinks here because I didn't pay attention to where we're going. We're going to Elder's Recess, so you want cold drinks or cool drinks. Not the hot drinks. But for some reason I thought Velkhana, he's ice. I want the warm stuff, right? No. No, it does make sense, but no, I don't think you do. Kind of like how you use cool drinks against, what's its name? The Flame Cat. The Flame Kitty. Not the red one, the blue one, Lunastra. Yeah, it's kind of like that. You use a cool drink against Lunastra and it's not as bad, the heat aura. I thought maybe the same thing might work with Velkhana, you never know. Well, I mean, you probably know. I didn't know. In my defense, it seemed like a decent idea. Okay? It did. Alright. Alright. So, just did a little bit of quick on-the-road editing. This should be interesting to see how poorly I did this, but hey, it should work just fine. Like, I quite literally, as I was talking, edited out this video. This should be funny. Anyway, instead of walking around for 5 minutes trying to find the thing, we're going to skip right toward the cutscene where we find it. Because I'm lazy. And you have a limited amount of time, I'm sure. So that's what we're doing. I don't recall there being any real particular dialogue for this scene, so I'm just going to keep on yammering my way through this. Normally if there's talking, I shut the fuck up, but there's not. So, you get to enjoy that ice dragon with me yammering on. Anyway, as I'm imagining this fight, I can't remember the fight in previous Monster Hunter games where you get frozen in place. I'm imagining this has that particular thing where if you get caught in a specific move, you're just screwed and you die. That's what I'm imagining, excuse me. Anyway, here we go. Velkhana, round 1. You see that tail jab? Yeah, that's going to be a predominant attack you're going to notice in this. It's really not hard to dodge, though. Like, at all. It's very small. It's a very small area of effect. Now, this thing loves moving like everything else in Iceborne, but it's not as bad as, say, Barioth, for example. Also, the breath, not that bad. We've gotten used to breath attacks from Puke. It's not that bad. Also, this thing does have a tendency to do kind of a repeat the same move over and over kind of thing, which is really nice for a greatsword because it can actually give us time to actually hit the damn thing. I will say the shield, the palico thing, as you see here, works wonders on this thing. Works absolute fucking wonders, so use it. Because, I mean, look at it. That's prime time to just start swinging when it starts going on those things. Of course, this is a bit less optimal, but it will work. He's really not that hard to move around and attack. So long as you don't get greedy and do stupid shit like that, and that's all that was stupid shit. Let's not lie to ourselves. This attack is a bit more annoying, but it's not as bad where he's up in the air and starts doing that breath thing. And if you're even confident enough, you can get a good old tackle on in his head there. It's not exactly going to knock it out, because I'm not a hammer user, but it does help with the damage a little bit, to be fair. I deserve that one. Oh, I didn't catch up on his body movement to go with the jab attack. I thought he was doing something else. But in my defense, this Elder Dragon is not as bad as I gave it credit for initially. I thought it was going to be much worse. That was pretty cool, if I do say so my damn self. And that was well worth the eating the damage, in my opinion. I've noticed in Iceborne, they kind of diminished the use of tackle a little bit so far. I don't know if that will hold in the end game or not, but they don't really give you a whole lot of time after attacks to get the true charge off. A lot of times they either move or usually they move. Let's not lie. Usually they move by the time you can get the true charge off, which pisses me off because that's kind of the way I love playing Greatsword. But I don't think this is good. This might land. Yeah, he got right in the head too. Perfect. I meant to do that. Totally. It's kind of scary when that tail just starts jabbing at you like a spear, but it's really not that hard to avoid. Assuming you can, move. I still argue I was not in that one though. But yeah, if you move left to right or right to left or just plain always moving, the tail doesn't really hit you unless you're in like a bad place like I almost was there. But if it's aiming at you and you're in front of it, just move left to right. Preferably with R1 held down or whatever your sprint button is, and you shouldn't get hit. But that as well is just solved by easily going left to right, listing lazily to the right or left. Now eventually they'll start going 2 or 3 attacks at a time. I think the default's 2, and when it enrages it's 3. I think. I've only fought this thing again the one time ever, so I'm not exactly 100% sure on its behaviors at this point. That was a little bit harrowing at this point, but I'm going with what I know, which ain't a lot, to be fair, at this point. I don't know how the hell I managed to do that twice without ever seeing the move prior, dodging that shit or tackling through it, but by God, I was like a... what's the word? I was on that. And yes, I was trying to cut the tail off, because I was like, if I'm trying to repel the thing, I'm trying to just cut its tail off, get me a piece of that material that I can get, I was like, well, shit, dude, you're gonna wind up this shit. I'm just gonna take advantage of it myself. That's right. This thing is a lot easier to fight than the other Elder Dragons, just because by virtue of it actually stands its ass around for a little bit of time, and allowing you to actually swing at it, which is a model idea. In this, I didn't notice it was going to go back. First time I'd seen it change direction with its breath attack before, so you can hardly blame me on that one. At least I don't think I saw that before. But yeah, that's why you bring an ice, what's the word? An ice mantle. But yeah, that's 2 attacks, 3 attacks, it's 4. I think that was technically a different one. Okay, well, we're just starting over 2 again, so 2, 2, 2. I say that was horseshit, but that was bad placement by me and timing, let's be honest. I'm not trying to blame the game for my own inadequacies. I may try it for comedic effect, but we both know that I just suck. But the point is, kind of hard to predict when shit's going to happen here when you'd ever fought the thing before. Pretty sure I should have gotten hit by that, but the game decided I wasn't in the first frame, so I wasn't going to get hit by the 5th frame or the equivalent. You know what I'm talking about here. I should have gotten hit there. Wearing an ice mantle, you sure can tank that with the tackle, but you probably shouldn't do that, but you can. I'm the master of doing things you probably shouldn't be able to do, but you managed to do it anyway, so yeah. For some reason that time my brain just went, nope, don't know what it's doing, even though you blocked it twice before, don't know what it's doing. I was like, no, don't you fucking stun lock me to death. You gotta get that block out, If he'd hit me there, he probably would have stunned me and would have killed me. Not gonna lie, that was kind of scary. Remember, he does love attacking more than once or twice, especially in the later parts of the fight, in this first repel, anyway. And a lot of this is just knowing about where he's going to land and where he's going to be aiming, which is kind of hard when you're first fighting him. At least I considered it pretty difficult. Then again, I consider most things difficult in Monster Hunter until I fight them a few dozen times. So, kind of fits the bill here. That's the 3 times I was talking about. He's enraged, apparently, so he does that 3 times then. Normally, I think he only does it twice, but 3 times there, so that's 1, 2... Okay, that's technically not 3, but 1. Yeah, you're not going to be able to tackle through that shit. But he just kind of randomly goes between 2 and 3, it seems like. I thought if he was enraged, it'd be 3, and if it wasn't, it was 2, but it doesn't seem to follow he was enraged. So yeah, that is right. 3. The reason I had Agitator on is just so I can tell when shit's enraged, so I know, okay, I need to play it a little more defensively when that goes up. I mean, Agitator's nice for the crit chance and the attack power, but it's not exactly perfect as far as everything else. Like, well, shit, just go after that. And I hit the tail, baby. I hit that tail when it was coming right at me. Did it work? Not really. But damn, did it feel like I was a badass when I did it. That's right. But yeah, if you use a Shield Spire on your Palico and Iceborne, you always want to know exactly where that dummy is. Because that dummy will come into play more than you ever want it to. So you need to know where that dummy is. And if it's attacking that dummy, how it's going to do it. That's the realization I've come to in this. Mind you, this was recorded at the same time that I recorded my last video, so I was probably even more half asleep by that point, because it was like 1 p.m. I normally go to bed at 2 p.m., so I was tuckered out. And that was essentially the fight. I wish I could tell you more, or tell you different, but that was essentially the fight. Let's not get it twisted. This was the storyline equivalent to a gimme fight, but yeah. We about to get a whole lot of dialogue, and I'll shut the hell up when that happens. But until that happens, I'm going to keep jabbering in your ear, because I'm a dick. And I like the sound of my own voice. What do you think I have over 2,100 videos on YouTube for? Let's be honest here. Also, for the people who are anal retentive, yes, I did eventually get new layering clothes, so you won't have to stare at her oh so awful thighs in the future. And it matches too. Though I love the way it looks. Anyway, I'll shut up now. Nerds. Why are you here if you can't do anything? Okay, we're still not done. She's dead. Well, if this was written well, she'd be dead. And it wasn't modeled after a JRPG storyline. What about you? Do you think she's dead? Most people would say, Bach, this is obviously modeled after a JRPG storyline. Exactly. Exactly. Entertaining, but not written well. But yeah, there's no realistic way you can write that and then have her survive. Just, no. Not unless she's a monster hunter herself, which I don't think she is. At least then, in the storyline, it'd make sense, because they're super soldiers, they could survive that shit, but her? Is she a monster hunter? I didn't think so. I thought she was just, some woman that was interested in helping out the commission, but I don't know. Honestly, I haven't really paid much attention to the storyline, because who the fuck plays Monster Hunter for the storyline? You don't do that. You don't do that. You play Monster Hunter for the fights. Or at least you should, in my opinion.
Era, Sisodoregal, Frey Nujimi, Velkhana, Tifsi Tefakida, Atsito Tsuihasfi, Kizimi, to Lugek Tenesiru Irasumiho, Le, Tibihami Honiku, Velkhana Meramode, Lagsda, Timek Tenesiru, Tisuni Horemi.
Uyakisda Memda Tarakiha Teneshiru Idas Miss Tuak Lutemi Idahoshi Gishi Relikula Mue
Sibe Kie Velkhana Ho Lure Mokuratsi Oru Seriena
So Relikto Eshi Jito Tada Velkhana, hey, Ayo, Ness, Leadership, Koda Titi Guto, Sir Astera Moki, Kimku, Siniguto, Abe, La Mula Poteji, Kedo, Ori.
Right. Anyway, that's all I got for today. I got next week. I got one more episode of Monster Hunter already recorded for you. And I'll see you then. Later.